Hello, I'm Dax, and today we're going to be doing a video on how to start up this 737-800. And also going to be doing a flight from Orlando to Los Angeles. Let's get started. The first thing we can do is open the cockpit door, put away flight bag. We can now start up the plane. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the batteries on. The ground power should go on. And now we can do our fire test. So the fault in up and then fire overheat. We're gonna press bell cutout and then turn that back to the off position. So we're gonna test smooth, left, right. This is left engine, right engine APU. We're gonna turn our emergency lights armed. Um, and test that. We're gonna do our throttle takeoff configuration warning. Go throttle 2, throttle 1, both. And now we're going to do our cargo fire test. And now we can set our transponder to standby. We can check that the circuit breakers are good. In voice recorder on our airspeed warning to 1. Flight recorder tested. IRS to nav. Make sure none of these are illuminated. The circuit breaker, we can check that we're pushed in, and also that we have the press. Now we can take a seat in the 737. If you have SimBrief, you can load your flight plan, and then first thing you do is look at the charts. So you route, and then you can look at the significant weather charts. So we have some turbulence over here, thunderstorm. So we might have to take extra fuel. For our departure weather, we can find that here. During this 110 at 13, stability, few clouds at 4,500 feet, few clouds at 11,000 feet, well, 11,000 feet, broken clouds at 20,000 feet, broken clouds at 25,000 feet, 27 degrees Celsius, 2.19 altimeter. You can do the same thing here, a little gusty, and the same thing here. So a little gusty. We do have 12 knots across on our takeoff, so it could be a little windy on the takeoff. But never mind, 15. Well, now go up here. We can check the departure time, 2030, 30 minutes. Scroll down to our fuel, which is right down here. We can add our planned takeoff, which is 35 that. So we are going to want to take some extra fuel. If you do have some brief, you can just put brief here. And then I'm going to take some extra fuel, 300 pounds and set. So I'm going to now let's put airplane setup. So traffic, terrain, airport, traffic, terrain, airport for both sides. We can also start our FMC setup. So we can come down here. We can clear this, enter IRS position, and now we can go to FMC, plus init, next page, GPS left, and we can paste that here and out the line. So and now after that's done, we can press route. If you don't have SimBrief, you have to do this manually, but I'm gonna request from SimBrief because it is a lot to put in a long route. So we're just gonna wait for the load to come up. While waiting, we can get our airport information. So their information and take off information. So we can press load on this. That's loading. Oh, it's loading. Let's get our suit, which is the um Osprey one. That is all good. Let's get that. So we can now get our ATIS information. So up here, what weather, and our altimeter is gonna be 3014. So here, not do that. Okay, got set, and now we can start the plan. Switch this over so we can see the waypoints. So after this is done, you can clear that, and you can go to departure and arrival. You can press departure, and then you can pick the Osprey one. You might have to go through some pages, but it should be there. And then the premise, transition, runway 18 left. We're gonna press index, arrivals, and then for this, we can do um, the full, I don't, full width one arrival with the S transition, runway 24 right, ILS. Then we're gonna do circus transition. Actually, no, yeah, let's do the um two. So we're um do that again. So we're gonna press this one, and now we can press index route, check that this is right to the Osprey one, remis, and then then we can activate that. You can go to perf init, and then we can put in some information. So our cost index is 5. Our reserves, find that by going down here. And our alternate is so 2.5 plus 2.4.9. Our zero fuel weight is 131 decimal 4. You can also get that by pressing it on the box, and then also pressing it again to enter it. Pressing at 34,000. Our wins are the 250 at 16. For temperature minus 49. Transition altitude is 18,000. We always add 1 foot to that, so it's plane level off at 18,000. That is done. We can check this page. So we do have the noise banded procedure number 2. So we're gonna enter 1,000 for acceleration height. And now we can go to the on page and make sure that we have 250 below 10,000. Go to our fixed page. We're gonna enter our airport. Mike Charlie Oscar. We're gonna enter a 25-mile ring around airport. So now we can go to the legs page and we can check our route. So I can go here, and then we already have the SID, so let's SID. Yeah, let's reach SID So right here, we could make sure everything is correct. So we are um, parting out of runway 18 left to 14 to villain, 1500 above, and then we're gonna be vectored to Osprey, and then to Good and Nost, and to Remus. So that is looking good. So that's it for the FCC setup for now. So let's get it there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start our pre-flight procedure. We're gonna turn our yard mirror on, cross feed. We're gonna turn it on, dim. Once it goes dim, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go bright and off. We're gonna turn our fuel pumps on. If you have more than 1,000 pounds of center tank, center tank pumps on. Go up here. You're gonna check that all those switches are normal, and then you're gonna turn the seatbelt sign on. Window heats can go on. Electric hydraulic pump on. For air conditioning, we're gonna do AUT Boeing guide. Our packs, we're gonna turn those to auto. Then we're gonna set cruising altitude of 34,000 feet for our destination. Altitude we can get 169 minus 50. So that's 100. Our wheel well, we can turn it on, right out, and everyone's eyes will be adjusted to it. If it's the first flight of the day, we can turn the engine slider to right. APU, we can turn it on. We're going to turn the flight directors to on. And then for our runway heading, we're going to set, well, for the heading, we're going to set our runway heading, so 185. And then for our courses, we're going to set the, so let me show you. We're gonna, right after takeoff, we're gonna turn to 14. So we're gonna put 214. And then for the other course up here, we're gonna set 237. So that's our second turn. 237. Just like that. And then for our altitude, we go over here. Look at the top altitude with the 7,000. So we're gonna add 100 feet to that, so 7,100. We're gonna put the fuel flow switch to reset, and then auto brake to RTO, and then we're gonna put the parking brake on. For our frequencies, you can get that by looking at the airport chart, which is 134.7 for our clearance. We're gonna tune in 134.7. We're gonna activate that, and for ground, we're gonna contact 121.8. That is set. So for our BOR, we can go to approach, and we can go to 18 left, and doesn't look like we have any horses. I mean BOR. Okay, we do have Orlando at 112. So 112. We can do this same thing. The side. To get this, you just go to the ref, class B airspace, Um, that's it for the frequencies. We can turn these on the weather radar. We can do weather plus turbulence. For our transponder, we can set squawk 2000. We can turn this radio to 121.5, just like that. That's international emergency frequency. It's already set. We're just mix up for that VHF one. Turn these on just like this side. That's it for the pre-flight. So I don't see any risks for the departure, but if you do have terrain or taking off in mountainous regions, you might have some terrain, so definitely should consider that as a threat for the departure. But today I don't see any because there's not mountains in Florida, so that's all good. For our route check, we're gonna come down here, go to the route. We're gonna check that our flight plan matches this. So the Mike Charlie Oscar to Kilo Lima Alpha X-ray. Check our routing. So Oscar Remis Yankee 280 to Lima Echo Victor Juliet 86 to Kappa, and then that's oh yeah, Juliet 86 to Alp, Juliet 50 to Sierra Sierra Oscar, and then Juliet 4 Wolverine, and then we can correct to S yeah, and then Holwood 1, yeah, Estwood. So we do have a discontinuity. We can just up like that, fill it in, and then that's the end of that. So once that's checked, we can execute that. We're gonna go to our progress page. Distance, so 1968 versus 1973, perfectly fine. And then the remaining is 10.5, and then required 4.9. So we did get a message. Not able to do 280 here. Okay, so just gonna fill that in. Let's see, 44. Okay, so there. After that's all done, we can now put this away. So after all of that, we can do our instrument cross check. To do that, we're just gonna check our time in UTC, which is 22:19, and then we're gonna check that the altimeter is reading what we want it to be. So time in UTC is 22:19, altimeter 30.14, reading 100. Merit array is going to be array is gonna be 1100. Okay, there we go. Flight directors on minus master and the standby instruments. Reset. Okay, so standby instruments are set, and then for be a lefty takeoff runway 18, flaps 5, noise 2 for the engine outside, straight at 25 miles. climbing 3,000 MSA, 30,000. So to get the say, go to your SID. Then this line right here is 3,000. And to get the altitude climbing to its so 500. So coming 4,000, I'm gonna say 3,000. The emergencies at 3 room. Pushback. Taxi is a push taxi. Yeah, left hand side. Taxi is assuming probably usually says where things are, but doesn't say for this. So our taxi is probably gonna be grayed out. So pushback. Actually, we're probably gonna get pushed back to the right hand side. Bravo 7, Charlie, and Charlie, Bravo 1. Runway 18 left. So there's no anti-ice required. The SID is the Osprey 1. Departure, right turn to Fort Villains, and then right turn to Osprey, vector to Osprey, then left turn to Britain, which like we have here. Our transition is 18,000. 18,000 is in here. That's it. That. So right now we would request our IPO clearance. So we would check that the runway is, say, the departures, what they say. Check that the altitude is good. Then they would give us a clock of 2202. Then we can contact ground. Well, activate the ground frequency and then transfer 100 volt off. So now, once that is done, we can go down here and do the performance. So if we go to the performance tool, we can select runway 18 left, import from aircraft, import weather, calculate it. So we're gonna check that 0 fuel light 131 bar. Way is also is this. So once that's checked, we're gonna go on this tool. 1 8 1 8 is us 90. That cross checks with this, so that's correct. We press takeoff. We go flaps 5. Then we're gonna this again. Enter the center of gravity. We're gonna go next page, and then where it says wind, you're gonna enter that the 100 and then the runway slope minus 1 minus 0.01. You're gonna press previous page, and then you're gonna check this page, touch this, press the boxes to enter them. 5.9. So we're gonna roll it out here, so that's right there. right there. Our V2 is 5155. Set that in box 55. Also activate LNAV, VNAV. LNAV might not activate on the ground sometimes. Um, Once that is done, we can put that back there, and then we can push this back to the map. Turn the APU generators on. Then we're gonna, and now we can do our before start checklist down to the line. So this is services, salt check, main service check, battery on, electric hydraulic on, landing gear lever down, zip library check, higher switch selectors nav, hairpins 1, 2, 3 removed, close the top door, probe covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removed, place tested, box step 100%, hot damper on, navigation auto, fuel required is 25. Fuel required is 35,400. Fuel is 35,700. 6 pumps on. Cabin, IFE galley power on. Emergency exit lights arm, fasten belts on, motor heats on, air conditioning, pressurization packs, auto lights on, set, pressurization with selector, auto instruments cross, brakes are low, hydraulics are normal, speed brake, detents, parking brakes set, stab trim cutouts, which is normal, go off fire warning, check, radios, radar, set, standby, rudder, aileron, trims, range, 0, takeoff briefing, discuss, PA complete, FSC, CQ, set, IS, plug, 24K automatic, will reduce 24K automatic, speeds 54, 54, 55, grab trim 5.9, set, performance, wind and balance, percent, off the airbag, and third, select deck windows, lock, doors closed, fasten, completed. That's that completed. Now this time we can request pushback, ground services, and request pushback. We can also now release the parking brake. And here we can remove the chocks. And then we'll be good. So we're gonna turn these just like that. So before start checklist below the line, air conditioning packs off, installation lights on, parking brakes off. Okay. We can just start our engines. Going to turn this to ground. Then timer on. We're gonna wait for this. This is the N2. We're gonna wait for the N2 to go to 25%. Okay, now we're gonna the lever up to idle. These lights go off. We're gonna monitor restart. Okay, so engine 2 is stabilized. We can set this timer. We can stop the pushback. So starting engine 1, same thing, ground, start the timer, wait for the N2 to get to 25%. Push that lever up to the idle T10s. These lights go off. Watch for the engine. Back is complete, so now hit the parking brake. So engine is stabilized. So what we can do now is generators on, off, start switches to continuous, repeats on, PAX auto isolation auto, wait off, um, select for takeoff flaps to check that the set jobs are normal. There are recall or flight control checks to do this. Push up, down, neutral, left, right, neutral, rudder, left, right.